Let me tell you my origin story. All right, because everybody keeps bringing up the fucking zany sidekick. Let me give you the facts. In 5th grade, I had a teacher, Mrs. Amber. She was the best teacher I ever had. And we used to do these things called rambles, where we would write for 30 minutes nonstop, and you could not stop writing. And then after, if you want, you could share with the class what you wrote. And one day, I made a parody of My Brother Sam is Dead called My Brother Slam is Dead 2.0. And I read it out to the class, and I had this really funny bit about how Slam's mother was yelling at him to wash the dishes and take a shower. And then Slam, as a monologue, said, so then I washed the dishes and took a shower at the same time, which was really funny in 5th grade. In fact, probably funnier than anything I've ever said on stream. And so that was the first time I got like happiness. I don't know, like performing in front of people, making people laugh. Like I thought I was super hype. And so then I was just like a class clown from then on out. And then in high school, I got nominated for, it was like Mr. High School. It was basically a competition. And I got nominated to be on it. And I performed in front of people. You had to have a talent. I ended up dancing. You had to answer questions. You had to do all this stuff. And I got 2nd place. And I really liked performing in front of people. And it was around this time that I was also really into Call of Duty videos on YouTube. I watched a lot of Hutch, CNNers, whoever. You can name them, I watched them. And I wanted to make my own commentary highlights for Call of Duty because I really like playing Call of Duty. And I saved up the money and I bought a Hauppauge HD PVR. It cost like $100. And I bought it. And I had like some rinky-dink mic that my mom had from when she used to work at Compaq, now HP. And I made some videos. But I was so embarrassed that people from school would find out. So instead of like uploading them to my Twitter at the time or whatever, I made a new Twitter account and a new YouTube account. And I didn't really tell anyone about it except for my closest friends. And I wasn't really being me. I felt like I was emulating the people who were actually doing it rather than just being me. So whatever. It didn't really take off. I didn't like doing it. I didn't feel like I was being me. I stopped making those videos. Enter college. So I've been in honors choir for 2 years in high school. I performed. I was in a show, Legally Blonde. I did the Mr. High School thing. And in college, I wanted to join an a cappella group because I thought that'd be fun. So I auditioned. I got callbacks. And in the second callbacks for the biggest a cappella group at Arizona State, really impressive group, they had me sing a song. And I sang Your Song by Elton John. Crushed it. They're like, oh, that was great. Can you sing us something else that'll show off your range? This is at the second callback. I'm like, okay. I didn't really have another song prepared because they only said to bring one. Titanium by Sia. Yeah. I wanted to sing that song. Because I knew it. I had done it in high school, and I know it shows off range. But there's no background music, right? You have to sing a cappella. And I hadn't practiced, so I didn't even know the starting note. And they gave me a note, and I like started getting into it. And the moment I hit the chorus, I forgot all the words. And so I'm sitting there a little bit off key, none of the words, going, na na na, na 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 na, na na na, thinking to myself, I don't think it was this high. Na na na, this seems too high. Na na, this seems really high. Na 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 na. And they're all staring at me blankly. I end, and they're like, great. I don't make the a cappella club. Fuck. I'll move on. I also like comedy. And there are 3 big comedy groups at Arizona State. No, sorry. There are 2 big comedy groups at Arizona State. The first is Far Side Sketch Comedy, and the other is Bear in Mind Improv. Those are the two big groups that have been around for decades. And I go to the audition, and I audition for both. And I wait, and I hear back from neither. So I didn't get into the a cappella group. I didn't get into the comedy club. But when I was at the comedy club audition, there was a guy there who's like, well, we're creating another comedy club if you guys want to come. I was like, all right, well, look, nobody else fucking wanted me. This guy seems desperate. So I go. And it's me and another dude. And it's Tempe Late Night. And it's like that guy and like three other friends. And they're like, yeah, we basically want to start our own comedy club. And it was all of the rejects who never got into comedy clubs wanting to make their own. So we do it. And at first, the audience is empty. There is nobody there. And then, after the first season, second season, starts picking up. 10, 15 people there. 20 people there. Third season, 50 people there. Uh-oh, there's a show with 80 people. By the last season, we had 100 plus people almost every Monday watching. And by that point, I was one of the most tenured members. And I was like, damn, this is sick. At the same time as that was happening, I had gotten into Super Smash Bros. Melee. And then I found Twitch, because to watch Melee, you have to watch tournaments on Twitch. I was like, Twitch is interesting. And the first person I believe I ever subbed to was actually Retro Gaijin. And I even streamed on Twitch. I streamed on Twitch 3 times in college. All I did is I played piano. But I didn't know how to play piano that well. I just had a keyboard, but I could really do To Xanarkin like a fucking pro. And I could do Great Fairy Fountain Theme. So I would be playing piano, and then one viewer would come in, and I'd be like, would you like a request? And they'd be like, yes, actually, could you do Chopin? Nocturne number 9. And I'd say, how about Great Fairy Fountain Theme? And then I'd stall long enough that they'd leave. Somebody else would come in. Yes. Do you know any Beethoven? And I said, I'm sorry, To Xanarkind? Dun, 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 dun. And I got like 10 followers. And I remember being over the fucking moon. I was like, I would call up my girlfriend at the time, be like, baby, I just got another fucking follower. And she'd be like, fuck off, I don't give a shit. I was like, okay. I wanted to start streaming myself play video games. I wanted to take it more seriously, because at this point, I was traveling to locals. I was commentating, but I never had my own stream. But my girlfriend at the time was staunchly against video games as a career. Even if you were to be successful, just the idea of doing video games as a career was not something that she was okay with. Thought it was lame, unattractive, yada yada. And I had a lot of other interests, so I never really cared that much. I was like, yeah, I want to do it. But I also like comedy, and I also like, my job, and I also like school, so I just did that instead. But then I kept liking video games more and more. And one day, I was like, fuck it. I like traveling to tournaments. We're done. We break up. And then the gates have been released. I start traveling to tournaments everywhere for Smash. I start commentating everything for Smash. And I go to a tournament called Run Back in Arizona. And I commentate top 32 with Mikey. And we are doing so well that the people who are slotted for top 8 get booted for us. Because Steven's like, keep going. We're killing it. Leffins in chat said commentary is funny. That's a quote. It went so well that the next week, I decided to go to California. I decided to commentate at Bigger Balk. I got slotted to commentate with Slime. And that went fucking amazing. And I was like, damn, this is sick. And then Slime brought me on to his podcast, Bad Melee. And I was doing the podcast, and I was thinking to myself, like, he's just doing it. You know? Like, I've always wanted to stream. I've always wanted to make YouTube. I just never been doing it, right? The only YouTube videos that I had been editing at that point weren't really with me in it. It was usually YouTube videos like compilations or other things, but not really me. It wasn't Ludwig Ogren. It was like GR Smash 5.7. But Slime was just doing it. I was like, well, if he's just fucking doing it, I'll just do it. So I applied to 500 jobs, that's not an exaggeration, in New York and LA. I got one interview. One response that wasn't no. And it was at a company in LA. I packed up all my shit. I bought a rental car and I drove to LA. I stayed with my sister for 2 weeks. I got the job and I was now living in LA. And immediately, first thing that happened to me after I got adjusted is I got fired from my job. I had 2 jobs. I worked at a wine and spirits magazine. I was the web editor. And I got fired because, to be honest, I fucked up a story. They gave me a story to publish on their website. And they gave me a bunch of images with captions. And their website was so fucking old that you had to code HTML to put shit where it was supposed to go. You literally had to code, okay, center align this. And then you'd have to code the byline under that, and you'd have to fiddle with it, save, refresh, look at it, make sure. And so I'm publishing the story. I get it to look all nice. I don't even think if the byline is matching the pictures. That didn't even cross my mind. Because basically I got one doc with the bylines and one doc with the pictures. So I made them all look nice, but I didn't put them next to each other. Because I honestly was not qualified for the fucking job. It said web editor, but I didn't realize I'd be doing that kind of HTML shit. They called me in the next day. I should have realized. I kind of got an inkling because they're like, by the way, what was the password to the thing you're on? I was like, oh, it's this. Great. Oh, by the way, what was that other password? This. Okay, great. Oh, by the way, did you have any projects that you were working on? No. Okay. They call me in to the office. It's this woman and the HR lady, and they're just staring at me. There's no easy way to say this, but we're letting you go. I was like, what the fuck? Bitch, I moved to LA for this job. I don't have anything. I was making $20 an hour, more money than I'd ever made in my life. The job before that, I made $12.50. So then I lose my job. I start working at Best Buy. I start applying to jobs, and I don't hear back from anyone. I apply for like 2 months straight. I don't get shit. And I decide to start streaming in December. I believe my first stream was actually end of November 2017. And I had like 3 viewers because I'd been commentating Melee for a bit. Some people knew me. I had like 1,000 followers on Twitter. And I would just get really fucked up and play Getting Over It. And then I got a job offer from Snapchat. $20 an hour. Unlimited overtime. Paid food. Downtown Venice. Whew. And so I stopped streaming. I streamed probably like 10 times. And then I stopped. And I worked at Snapchat until April 20th. Which is when Snapchat and their shitty management decided they don't really need my team. And because I was a contracted employee hired by an outside company, I wasn't an employee of Snapchat. And they fired me same day, no notice. And I had already left Best Buy. I had no job. And so for a month, I applied to jobs. And then May 16th, I was like, fuck it. All right? All I've ever wanted to do is just make content and entertain people. I went to college to be a journalism major with the hopes of being a talk show host. That was my dream job, was to be a talk show host. And then one day I realized I don't even like talk show hosts. So I was like, I don't know why that was my dream job. But I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I was like, I should just do it. Like Slime was just making the podcast. All you had to do is just start doing the thing you want to do. So May 16th, I promised I would start streaming. And you can literally look. I had 16 average viewers. I gained 84 followers. I got 23 subs. And it was mostly my friends. And then like the next month, June, 25 average viewers. All right. And I'd start doing it more. And then in June, I streamed 130 hours, right? I still don't have a job. So I'm just pouring my soul into it at this point. I'm watching so much Twitch. July, 50 average viewers. I streamed a little less because I went to a few tournaments. 117 average viewers. Then I started doing shit like the roast. I had the Hotels.com ad. I had a few commentary spots. I went to Summit. I had another job all during this point until February. And I've actually never told you guys this before. But on February 16th, it was a Saturday. That was when I announced I was going full time. And I told people I had left my job at the vape company I had worked for to go streaming full time. That was a fucking lie. I got let go from my job at the vape company. Fired from 3 different jobs since I've been to LA. The only place that didn't fire my ass was fucking Best Buy. I lied because I had been wanting to go full time. This was a good excuse to do it. And I didn't want it to seem like I was going full time only because I got fired. And I didn't want people to pity me, or I didn't want it to overshadow the idea that going full time was something I actually had wanted to do, which is true. I did want to go full time. And that was it. I just finally had the balls to do it. I was just scared because in the past it had like failed, and I thought that I like needed some reason to stream, but all I needed to do is just start streaming and just get good at it, because you're never going to be good unless you keep doing it. Because, you know, sometimes you doubt yourself. Sometimes you're like, you know, sometimes I hit start stream and it's like, well, I could just have 50 people come in today, and then tomorrow I'd have to go back to Best Buy. That could happen, but it keeps not happening, which is really cool.